We have some major news out of ElevenLabs. They have just reached unicorn status, a $1.1 billion valuation after raising $80 million in a Series B funding round. This is a company I've been talking about a ton on the podcast for the entire year. It's literally my favorite AI voice generating tool. So today on the podcast, I'm breaking down what they're doing with their money, how they were able to do that, who gave them the money, what their plans are, because they also have a very exciting announcement. Stay tuned. I wanted to mention today's episode is sponsored by AIbox, my very own AI app builder and marketplace. We have launched a crowdfunding campaign and we actually just passed 350 investors on the campaign. So a huge thank you to everyone that has invested and gotten involved with the project. If you're interested in getting involved and investing, you can go to republic.com/AI-box. I'll leave a link in the show notes and you can check out our campaign.
We gon' bring it to you just like that. Welcome everyone to the future, it's AI Chat. Bringing you the interviews and giving you info to be in the know from tech company CEOs of. Rock with us, bet you gon' come back. I'm just saying the facts. This is AI Chat. Let's go.
So the incredible thing here, in my opinion, is that ElevenLabs, which of course is the AI voice startup, right? It's text to voice AI, has just reached unicorn status. And this is after just 2 years since it was started. So I think it reached a $1.1 billion valuation to be exact, and they just raised $80 million. This is their Series B round, and this was co-led by Andreessen Horowitz, and I believe they were leading their Series A, or at least they were involved in that, if I remember correctly, and they, of course, had Nat Friedman, who's been investing in a ton of big AI plays lately. They had Daniel Gross, and then they also had Sequoia Capital and SV Angel that were in this round. So this Series B funding came right after they announced a $19 million Series A round, which, if anyone remembers and has been following this podcast, was only 6 months ago. So that valued the company at about $100 million. And then 6 months later, they go for another round, raise $80 million at a $1 billion valuation. This is absolutely phenomenal. And to be 100% honest, this is not surprising to me. ElevenLabs is an incredible company. They've been doing everything right. They're the best in class, which, I mean, this says a lot because they're competing directly with OpenAI and a bunch of other major players, Well-Said Labs, a bunch of others. ElevenLabs really is the best in class. They have tons of new features. They're rolling things out faster than any other AI company I've been seeing, any other AI voice company. So massive kudos to them. And they specialize in voice cloning, and also they do this in a bunch of different languages, which is something that I personally think is amazing, right? It's like, you can do voice to text, but you also can, get your own voice talking Spanish, talking Italian, talking German, talking any language, which I think is just a phenomenal feature. So the company is going to be using all of this new money that they've just raised for research advancements and product developments. And the new features that they have announced recently after this big raise, a lot of times when you see these companies do these raises, it kind of goes along with like, hey, we raised this money and we're doing this big, new feature. So for them, this is a movie dubbing tool and a marketplace for selling your voice, which I think is really cool. So the marketplace is amazing. You essentially go in there, train an AI model of your voice, which is something you could already do on ElevenLabs. And I've used it's really cool. But now you can also put that on the marketplace and charge people to use your voice if you want. So that's one cool tool. And then, of course, the other is a movie dubbing tool. To, essentially you're watching a movie and it dubs it into other languages. So also very cool. So the founders, Petrov Dabowski and Maddie Steinowski, both of them are from Poland, and they actually were inspired to start ElevenLabs because of poorly dubbed movies that they would watch growing up. So this is a really cool company. And essentially their initial focus was on English text to speech models, but later, of course, they've kind of expanded to a lot of different languages. The company's voice lab right now lets you clone your voice or create new synthetic ones. According to their press release, they said that ElevenLabs technology combines context awareness and high compression to deliver ultra-realistic speech rather than generate sentences one by one. The company's proprietary model is built to understand word relationships and adjust delivery based on their wider context. It also has no hard-coded features, meaning it can dynamically predict thousands of voice characteristics while generating speech. All of that is according to one of their founders, Maddie. And actually, this is really, really interesting, and I think it's important to understand the difference here, because if you've used different AI to, voice tools, you'll notice that some of them are not great. ElevenLabs is amazing. Like when it speaks, it sounds like a real human. It does not sound robotic. It doesn't sound, like it's artificially generated or whatever most of the time. So I think it's really impressive, and you can see why, right? And so really what they have built here is something completely unique that has immense value, and this is why they're able to get, $1 billion valuation, because really that refinement that makes it sound from robotic to like real is what's valuable to companies. So within months of their beta launch, ElevenLabs gained over 1 million users. This is incredible to me. And their AI dubbing tool, which they've just recently introduced, essentially it translates audio and also video, which is, in my opinion, incredible, into 29 languages. And what's cool is it keeps the original voice and emotion. So recently there was a video that went very viral on X of, I believe it was like the president of Argentina. I forget what his name is, but he gave some big speech at Davos at the World Economic Forum. And it went super viral, but I think what helped it go really viral was there's a different company called HeyGen that essentially like dubbed his voice into English. So, it still has like his Argentinian accent, but he's speaking English. So you actually hear what his voice sounds like. And I think this is so powerful. We're going to see more and more of this in the future. I would 100% rather listen to, a leader from another country in their own voice speaking English than, some other person's voice dubbed over. You just don't feel like you get the same connection or emotion from it. So I think this is an amazing tool that's going to be very, very popular. Of course, HeyGen was viral with it, but this is something that ElevenLabs is also doing. And I believe that they're doing a very good job of this as well. So ElevenLabs right now, I think that they said they serve something like 41% of all the Fortune 500 companies, which is really impressive. And they said, quote, "We're constantly entering into new B2B partnerships with over 100 established to date. AI voices have wide applicability, from enabling creators to enhance audience experiences to broadcasting or broadening access to education and providing innovative solutions in publishing, entertainment, and accessibility." That's Maddie again. But I think all of these new features are absolutely incredible. They're doing a great job doing these B2B partnerships. I think this is another thing that makes their company valued so highly. But this new dubbing studio workflow that they introduced essentially is allowing for movie dubbing, right? Like we mentioned, in 29 languages. But what's interesting is it doesn't currently have the lip syncing capabilities. So this is, I'm sure, something that they'll be doing in the future. I've seen a couple other places. I think, if I'm not mistaken, HeyGen makes the lips sync as well when you dub in another language. I'm not 100% sure, so I would go check that. But I'm pretty sure I've seen this other places. But absolutely incredible. The total funds raised by ElevenLabs are 101 million, which is absolutely amazing. And their future plans include a bunch of different AI voice research, infrastructure expansion, and developing a bunch of new products. So this is absolutely incredible, and I'm super excited to see where this goes. I will keep you in the loop as we learn more about what they're doing in the future. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech.
Thank you for listening to the AI Chat Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, I'd appreciate it if you rate me wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're looking for an innovative group of AI enthusiasts, make sure you check out our Discord channel and also our Facebook community. It's obviously a lot more interactive than a podcast, where we can actually share software tools, prompts that we're using in everyday AI. I'll leave a link for those in the description below.